Hello, I'm Annihilator and welcome to the Lorraine 40-ton tank review. So in this review, for the garage part, I'm just going to look at some of the statistics and some of the things you can do with it, and then in the second part of the review I'll show you a good game I had with it, just to show you how it performs on the battlefield and in combat situations. So first thing we're going to look at, as important, it has an autoloader. Let's have a look at the gun. You've got 6 shots in this magazine with a 40-second reload time. That can be cut down to about 38 with 100% crew and everything. A 3-second aiming time. That is really where it kicks in. That is quite brutal, and you're gonna sometimes die because of that. So that's why I would recommend a GLD and a vert stab. Usually you just pick one, but I think 2 of them is really beneficial here. And then I go with the vents for the reduced loading time, and again increased or reduced aiming time as well. 0.36 accuracy, that's good, and you have 232 penetration at tier 9 for a medium tank. That's pretty good. It doesn't stand up to the tier 10 mediums, obviously some of them are about 260, 270 penetration, but 232 at tier 9 is more than adequate, and that's fine, and 300 alpha on each shell is pretty sweet as well. And you have 1800 potential alpha damage in a full clip, which will devastate any other tier 9 tank. Okay, next let's look at any of the other modules here. Engine and tracks, not really going to look at in depth in them. Turret turns very quickly, 42 degrees, and view range of 400 meters, so it can fulfill a bit of a scout role with that view range and that kind of speed, but don't rely on your camo. I mean, I have a full camo crew and this thing still gets spotted cross map, and I don't know, it's just got seems like a very poor camo rating. Even behind, if you're shooting from behind bushes, you're going to get spotted. Speed wise, it is incredibly fast. Your acceleration is just through the roof. You're going to fly around the map in this thing. It will outrun nearly any other medium tank at its tier and any medium tanks below its tier, and will keep on par with the scouts. So it is very fast, which is great for relocating and great for exposing holes in the enemy lines to flank. So very, very good in that regard. Okay, so let's have a look at the research tree. If you've gone up the heavy line, you will already have this gun unlocked, but if you've just gone up the light line, you're only going to have the 90mm, which is very bad as a tier 9 medium tank. You're going to end up firing a lot of premium rounds in it, because you just can't deal damage. That's the gun that comes from the 90, and the 90 is a scout. It's not supposed to deal that much damage, but on the medium tank you really need this 100mm gun. This will be a priority for me, because there's only one turret, so you don't need to worry about any of that. I don't think you get the engine. Yeah, you've got to research the engine. Radio you get from a million other tanks, and the tracks as well you have to research. The tracks, what's the load limit? 38. Yeah, you should. If you don't mount any equipment, you should be able to put that gun and this engine on. But if you want to put equipment on, the engines weigh the same thing, that's fine, then you can go for the engine. But if you want to put equipment on, you're going to need to get those tracks, but really gun is a big priority here. And then 200,000 XP is required for the Batchat, which isn't too much for a tier 10 vehicle. 200,000 isn't that much. There's quite a few tanks that are 210, 220, 230,000, so that's not too bad. Okay, let's have a look at ammo loadout. I load 36 regular rounds with 2 clips of premium. Those clips of premium I have never had to use. As you can see, I have 139,000 XP on this thing. I am more than half the way through and have never had to use those premium clips. So, I don't know, maybe keep 1, maybe keep 2 around, because you never fire this many regular rounds either. And don't bother with HE. Taking up 6 shots for HE is just not worth it. I carry a large repair kit because the turret and the tracks and the gun and everything get destroyed so easily. Your modules just fly out the window so often, it is ridiculous. Manual and small repair kit are fine. Your crew members don't die that often, and your fire extinguisher isn't thankfully used too often either. So really, a large repair kit I feel is absolutely necessary, and they're half price at the moment. Okay, now that we've looked at all its statistics, let's see what you should be running for its skills. If you are getting a brand new crew because you've left your previous crew on the 90, then I would recommend just going for a full camo loadout, because if you get spotted you die. So it's best to have camo until you can get a guy, swap him out like I'm about to on 6 cents, and then snapshot and smooth ride for these guys is what I'd recommend to, again, cut down on that aiming time and improve accuracy on the move, because really you can't sit still in this as well. You've got to keep moving, you've got to keep relocating, and if you can shoot quicker between each of those shells, that is just a bonus. For third skills, for the commander, it's it's a difficult one. There's quite a few things you could go through, because he also gets loader perks and he also gets radio operator perks. So what you could go is, you won't need safe stowage, that's a given. Adrenaline rush, that's a way down the line skill to be getting, because who gets left on 10 HP in this thing? You get one shot or you're full HP, that's all. Yeah, intuition obviously no, so that rules out the loader perks. The only viable radio operator perk will be situational awareness to get your view range up, and then you've got your pick from the commander perks. I wouldn't bother with repairs, because if you get tracked, whether you're 5 seconds repairing the tracks or 6 seconds, you're gonna die anyway. BIA is a possibility once you get to your fourth skill, perhaps. I wouldn't put it on too early, or maybe well into your third and you want to swap them out. That's a viable one. Then you've got recon. Again, I think situational awareness gives you a bigger bonus than recon, so never pick recon unless you're getting them both. I can't really see anything else viable there, so possibly repairs or situational awareness is what I would go for the third skill for the commander. For the gunner, Deadeye I would feel would be the best perk to have there, to increase your critical damages 3% for each shell, which is going to be a big thing if you're unloading a full clip into someone, to do a lot more critical damages, especially if you're aiming for modules such as ammo racks and engines. Again, the loader perk's not going to be useful on this vehicle, I don't think. Designated target is a possibility if you plan to play more as a scouting role, possibly with the Batchat in tier 10 games. You can get designated target, it'll keep them lit up for longer. Damage gun, the gun does get damaged quite a bit, but I don't think it's worth taking that perk at all. No, definitely not worth it. So Deadeye is what I would recommend here, or designated target if you wish. For the driver, after camo and smooth ride, what I would look at is clutch braking. You don't need, this thing spins around absolutely no problem. Possibly off-road driving, just to increase your speed, again with the Batchat to increase your speed, because they both turn very fast anyway, so I think off-road driving is the best option here. Or you can take clutch braking if you really want to see yourself spin. Okay, I think I've talked about just about everything I can in the garage screen, so let's have a look at a good game that I can hopefully pull out of somewhere. So here we have a top tier game, the Lorraine on Moravanka. When you're top tier you can play a lot more aggressively, because you're going to have a much higher damage output compared to most of the other tanks. So what we're actually going to do here is we're going to rush this before the guys from the south base can get there, because you're so fast you can get up to this hill before they do, and then they're caught in the open here. So I'm just going to speed up until we get there. As you can see at this point I'm loaded, so I'm fully loaded and prepared for battle. It's a 38-second reload with the setup I have. So I've told artillery as well to be ready, because we're going to rush. This is my preferred spotting bush, and then a YOLO Comet comes out the side. VKB and T25-2. So I notice a bunch of targets, I'm going to be spotted, so I back off. You want to go around the side of the hill where you won't be hit. Herpaderp one of my shots. Next one catches him just about. Then my platoon mate Pina finishes him off, but takes some hit there. Takes some hits trying to go up, so we know there's a number of enemies ready to shoot us once we peek up here. Stormil, I can't see him, just quickly move on to the next target, which is a Ferdinand. Should be able to easily penetrate him. But then I spot a Patton, much juicier target. I think that first one goes into his turret, and then hull, and then he turns, gives me an easier shot, and into his engine. So now I'm just going to be on the reload, just sitting back here, reloading, not taking any damage, not trying to spot. T69 rams me like a boss. Just shifting around, still reloading, but less than 10 seconds left in the reload. I come up, spot again, aim. Now I start taking shots, pick out a target, target repeat. goes left. I'm trying to go for the hatch or the turret here because that hull, as is just demonstrated, is not the best place to be shooting at. So I only make 2 shots, or 3 shots out of this clip, so half of a clip of damage for that. I believe I just rolled 281 on him at the end. Let's speed up again and just reload some more. As you can see so far, it's at 2000 damage up in the top left there. Load it again, I can see that pattern. He moves forward, so I can't hit him again though. Just waiting, hopefully trying to get a shot in there of him between the buildings and get a nice little kill steal. Nope. Okay, and now there's nothing left but the campers in their base, so it's rush for damage now at this stage. This the enemy 5100, you might notice, hasn't been spotted yet. You can see here how fast the Lorraine is. 55 kilometers, 56, 60 over open ground under its own power. It's phenomenal speed. And there's the enemy 5100, still full HP, camping in the back. And I know he's going to be hit by teammates as well, so I just sit here, try and get the damage in. We fire the exact same speed, same alpha, same everything. There we go, 2 shots left.
Here we go.
So it's just those 2 guys, 1 guy, and then artillery left. Now it's just the arty, and now it's just GG. So finish that up with about 3.3k damage, playing a very aggressive Lorraine. Not the best game in the world, but it was clearly won by our rush there, because we took out half of the enemy team before they did anything. And there you go, nice kill steal over my shoulder. So that's just 1 game in the Lorraine. I have another one to show in a not top tier game, and we'll have a look at that now. Okay, so here we are on Serene Coast. It's a tier 10 game with a lot of tier 9s and no tier 8 vehicles. So a very high tier game. Just going to speed up until we get to the action. What I'm going to be doing here is rushing this area again with the rush. I have a look at the enemy team, don't really analyse anything that can beat me there apart from perhaps a scout, which won't be a threat. So just rush in. See the clip is 3/4 loaded now, and then I spot the enemy scout. I don't know what I'm doing up there, trying to get a better shot, I don't know. And here we are, loaded. Just get my shot in. There we are, free shot of damage, none taken. So then I go again, notice this Conqueror, I'm not going to penetrate at that angle. And you need to be careful with your shells in the clip, because you've only got the 6, and a fairly long reload once you're done. So again, the 90. I managed to catch him in the track here.
Not very good.
And then he gets hit and stolen. Okay, so there's 3 rounds left. I move up a bit to see what's going on. I see the T-57 Heavy and the IS-7 there. I'm not going to be able to do a lot to that IS-7's front, so back I go. Back I go. I think I might reload. Nope. I see our E5 is getting, or he's just kind of YOLO'd into it with multiple enemy tanks. He's not going to do anything. Have a go with the T-57 Heavy, not going through there. IS-7 comes back out, but again, I'm not seeing anything that I can reliably penetrate. Let's take my last shot, whatever. And reload. So I'm going to be out of the fight for 38 seconds. Run around this side, going to get a different angle. And here you can see the strength of having the clip on this tank combined with that great speed. So if you were to imagine, it's something like a T-71, but with much greater alpha and much greater damage potential, and it's also a much bigger target. So you can go in here, IS-7, low HP, and T-57 as well, about half HP. I don't know, that IS-7 spaced armor means that bounces. So I finish off this guy.
Now he's dead, and I'm not.
Quickly get around this T-57 Heavy, again using the speed just to keep going on the move, and force this M103 back out of the fight so my teammates can move up with me. This Conqueror doesn't fancy his chances against my clip, because he doesn't know how many I've fired. Herpaderp, my shell, that there is a weak spot along the side of the M103's turret that you can go through on the front, but I don't manage to hit it. So at the moment, 3 kills and 1000 damage, kill stealing like a boss. But it's a tier 10 game, not expected to be carrying, and there's not a lot more you can do. As you can see, our base is being rushed, and it's going to go down quite soon. Now our E75 just took a ton of damage off their FE 215B183, and I think got nearly one-shotted. So now it's just that tortoise on his own. And I see this and I'm thinking, well, we kind of need that tortoise to hold the base for us, because that 50B isn't able to help him from where he is. So I'm going to try and get back to possibly help this tortoise. But even with the speed of this tank, I'm not able to get back in time, unfortunately. And it'll just show you the clip potential. T71 goes speeding past. So tortoise goes down. Up I come the IS-8. It's kind of left on his own. I go for his track and like a herp miss, goes high. Again, going for the track, just missing. Now, that's where the mistake came from. All those guys on my rear, 3 shots on me. I come close to killing that IS-8, but taken out. Wasn't paying attention to these guys back here. Got that they could shoot across. But that was just showing you the Lorraine 40 ton, the higher tier game. Finished with top XP there, 2000 damage and 3 kills. And I think I had some spotting damage and tracking and all that kind of stuff. So, that was the Lorraine 40 ton in action. Just to summarise a couple of things. A very mobile with a tank, no armour whatsoever, you bounce lucky shots only. I spectate my platoon mate here. Lucky shots only, you're going to bounce off the front, so do not rely on it, because it's just not going to happen for you. And that's the game. Yeah, flanking is your best friend with this tank. And our T71 gets the base capped on him before he can carry, obviously. So, hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please give it a like. I will be doing more of these in the future, and if you have a tank you would like to request, in the comments below is where you're going to leave that. So, thank you for watching, and goodbye.